So in the past years, careers that were deemed to be anything were doctors, lawyers, engineers. But in the recent past, we've seen an opening up in the creative economy that now allows people to begin to see jobs that are being created in this particular industry. So what this has made is that people have begun to realize that careers can also, the creative industry can employ even the doctors, even the lawyers, even the engineers. And today we have the privilege and the honor of sitting with the Kenya Film Commission CEO, Mr. Timothy Owase. Karibu sana, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to have this discussion today. I think the best place to begin, you heard me talk about doctors, lawyers, engineers. That is what our parents used to tell us as we grew up. Your parents didn't want a doctor out of you.
I was totally in the same space, and there were those super careers that every parent hoped their children would be able to really take. And being a doctor, an engineer, lawyer was a priority. And for those of us who found ourselves in this space, the community or the society will not regard you as a professional. You are supporting other careers. But today, I think it's a different story. Screen industries, if I may call it, is one of the most lucrative areas for one to be, because as luck would have it, I believe the creative economy revolves around lives. And all other careers are determined or are exemplified within the creative industries.
Yes. All right. And how did you find yourself now in the creative industry? What was it by default? Was it by design? How do you end up in this space now?
You know, I would look at this as a journey that was created by God. Yes, because I was born and raised in the village in Busia County. And while growing up, my mom as a teacher, and I schooled in the same space where my mom was teaching. So I had at a very young age interests of doing poetry. I would represent the school during creative related assignments. When we had parents' days, I would be the one to recite a poem and all that. Even singing and dancing at class 3, that gave me the courage. You know, the courage of being able to stand in front of people at that tender age gave me room. But an interesting turn. When I got to university, I did marketing. And on undertaking marketing as a professional career, I found myself opening up more and seeing a lot of opportunities.
Yes.
Then I made a choice while still in school to just pay a visit to MultiChoice. And when I paid a visit to MultiChoice, I was looking for an opportunity where I would intern. And in the process, I got an opportunity during recess of university. The 3 months was normally a very long period.
Yes.
So I thought I can spend the 90 days doing something meaningful.
Okay.
So I joined the media. That's how I found myself.
That is how
in
you
this.
get yourself
Yes,
into the media.
exactly.
And now you've risen in this industry and you're at the top, so let's say at the helm of a body that is very crucial or important in the film industry. Briefly, could you tell us your journey up that ladder?
Well, it's been a very interesting journey because, as I mentioned, I'm a professional marketer and I've practiced marketing to the highest level. I trained, I got my first degree in marketing. I chose to take professional courses with the Chartered Institute of Marketing. I became chartered, and just last year, actually this year, I became a fellow of marketing. That's the highest honor you can be able to get in marketing. Of course, working in the media space gave me an opportunity to also work for other institutions.
Yes.
I worked for a technology company, Touch Media Solutions. I also worked for a marketing agency, Rollout Marketing.
Yeah.
So you can see that the experience and the diverse of the organizations I've worked for gave me a space that would lead me to where I am.
Yes.
I also found myself working on a project with the World Intellectual Property Organization. That is, again, an institution that champions the creative space when it comes to copyright and intellectual property.
Yes.
So I worked with WIPO on this project on strengthening capacity in 5 African countries.
Yes.
So I would go to all these countries just advancing the importance of creative enterprise and why copyright is important. In the process, I was also learning on how to ensure that creatives are able to make or create wealth
Yes.
from this particular industry. Of course, I joined Kenya Film Commission. And when I joined Kenya Film Commission, I didn't join as a CEO. I joined the commission in different capacities. I worked in marketing, I worked in film industry development, I held a position in communication. So you can see that even within the organization, I've been able to move around both vertically and horizontally to just get to understand the scope of the mandate of Kenya Film Commission. And of course, my desire to see the difference has enabled me to get ready for the job. While at the commission, you'll be surprised that the position of CEO was advertised 3 times. The first time it was advertised, I didn't apply for the job because I knew I was not ready for the role.
Okay.
The second time as well, again, I wasn't ready. And my wife asked me, why are you not applying for this role?
Go for it.
Go for it. And I told her, you know, I have to weigh myself.
Yes.
And if I go for it when I'm not ready, I don't think that will be the best thing because I'll regret about it. And I like winning. So I just want to win. I don't want to get in and find myself short. So let me prepare well. A few years later, an opportunity arose again. And my wife reminded me to, in fact, she was very interesting on this. She saw the advert. And she's the one who reminded me that, Tim, I've seen the advert on your organization.
Go for it.
And the position of CEO is now vacant.
Yes.
And you know I stay with you here. I think
know you.
you are the right person.
Okay.
I now don't have any doubt that you are not ready for the position. Please apply and give it a shot. And that's what I did. I went through the normal motions of applying for a job in government, and I went through the interviews, and ultimately I got appointed as the best candidate. Of course, from there now it was to get to work.
Okay.
And that's where we are.
And now it's good that you pointed out get to work. Let's get into the depth of it right now. You see, the film industry for the longest has been on some sort of roller coaster. I mean, we are going, but we don't know where we are going. But in the past few months, we've seen a bit of activity. There's motion taking place in there. And as I was preparing for this interview, I tried to, scout around and try and get data that I could, come and bombard you with. But, I could not find data. What I found was as late as 2016, nothing recent. And so it begs the question, where is the place of the film industry in the grand scheme of things in Kenya? What is the position of how important is this industry in the grand scheme of things?
That's a very good question. I think if you ask me, and I'm happy that you have, the film industry, and to add on it, the general screen industry has a great position within our country. First of all, look at what are the importance results that will come out of a vibrant film industry. One, think about that best commercial that has ever been done to market a multinational product or service. And you see quite a number of such.
Yes.
Also think about you stay in a community that has so many people. These people are quite diverse, and they speak different languages, they eat different food, but you are able to capture them on a motion picture and make them understand one another. Also think about a situation where you are on a location, you are on a set, and you have about 1,000 people. These people have come together for one reason, to produce one product, and at the same time, get something out of it in terms of income.
Yes.
Other than that, Kenya as a country has an opportunity to showcase what it has to offer to the world. By doing that, you actually positioning our country, which is a brand in itself, to the rest of the world in terms of what they can be able to find in case you paid a visit to our country. So you build Kenya as a brand to the world through film. Other than that, you also attract tourists. When many people are making decisions as to where to travel for holiday or to just go and learn, they look at what is trending, what is available in this country. If I want to go to Africa, why should I go to Kenya and not Uganda or not Ethiopia? So films create that room. So at a national scale, film has quite a lot that no government can ignore. For us, as I've mentioned in a very long way, we have a branding role emanating from screen industries. We have cohesion and integration because film doesn't have any boundaries. We have opportunity to create employment for our young people who are the majority in this country. And you can imagine one set can employ so many people. Other than that, tourists, they come to the country and they spend here in Kenya. We also attract many people to come and shoot their films on location in Kenya. What that means, skills transfer is at the best because you get the best of the world coming to do this here. So Kenyans become entrepreneurial. They are able to interact with professionals from other jurisdictions. So the importance of the film industry cannot be underscored.
All right.
Yes.
And you spoke, we'll touch a bit on the big productions coming into the country from the rest of the world. But before we get there, let's talk about employment opportunities within the industry. You see in the country that some of the statistics that we have, in Kenya we have about 800,000 young people joining the labor market every year. And out of this, 35%, the young people, 35% of them are unemployed. That's the rate of unemployment in the country. And let's talk about, and you look at it, of these people, 80% of unemployed Kenyans are below 35 years of age. Young people, people who are looking for a livelihood. The film industry has the potential to really bridge this gap. And so, why is there this gap? I mean, who's not getting this point of the potential that exists within the film industry?
I think the best response to you is that the government acknowledges the importance of this space, and that's why the Kenya Film Commission was established. And when you look at the Kenya Film Commission mandate, ranges from development, promotion, and marketing Kenya as a filming destination, providing research information, which entails being able to give real-time data on what are the trends in terms of distribution, technology, what the market is looking for, audiences, and so on. Also, when you look at our mandate, we have a responsibility to ensure that film materials are archived and through a repository system that the Commission has to put in place, and also creating linkages with other countries, thereby undertaking what we call co-productions.
Yeah.
And co-production treaties will be able to provide an avenue for our Kenyan creatives to be able to interact with their counterparts, access funding opportunities, exchange programs, and also just expanding the film market. So the gap, I may say the gap has been there,
Yes.
but the government is now on overdrive to see to it that we move from where we have been to the next level. And that's why we have very deliberate measures that will be able to see that the industry moves from A to D.
To D.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And I want us to talk about some of the initiatives that the Commission has put in place to try and empower the film industry in the country. But before that, I want you to briefly speak to the investor, somebody who wants to tap into the opportunities in content creation. What opportunities are there for them as investors?
Well, for investors, if one has not thought about investing in the film industry, my take is that there is something they are missing, because this is an open book industry that if you see the potential, you will run into it and put up a facility. How can you invest in the film industry? You can invest in a story. You need not to think so hard as to how you can be able to invest. You can invest into a script writer to come up with a commercially viable story and develop that story into a whole movie that will go global, or just sell it in the country and create wealth by employing Kenyans and also telling your own story. Two, you can also invest in production facilities. That's an opportunity. Many Kenyans, and you've rightfully put it that there are many young Kenyans who are joining the job market. These young people are looking for opportunities. Some of them are so creative. So as an investor, if you set up a studio, then you have room to have these talented young stars utilize these facilities for your return on investment. Other than that, there is distribution of content. Why can't one be able to invest in his or her own VOD platform? Other than that, distribution of content. We want Kenyan content to go to the world. We want Kenyan content to be consumed by Kenyans. You could produce content, be it in vernacular, Swahili, English, in whichever language. And also, there is another opportunity, dubbing of content. You can convert all these local soaps into Portuguese, Chinese, and expand the market. All these are valuable opportunities for one to really invest and take advantage of creating room for Kenyans to enjoy the best that they can do. Other than that, government has also given room to anyone who is investing in this sector that you may be able to get some waivers by way of bringing in equipment. When you talk to Kenya Investments Authority, will be able to provide you with almost everything you need to invest in this country as far as that line is concerned. And remember, just like agriculture, manufacturing, and any other, film is at the center. And for me, any farmer who leaves his or her house every morning to go and oversee the cultivation of their either maize, beans, or any kind of crop, to me, the same thing applies to a filmmaker. Wake up in the morning, think about your story, think about filming and marketing your story, think about your audiences, what are they looking for, and how can you deliver the highest standard of quality product that will not be resisted by anyone. And when you do that, then you carve a niche. And when you have a niche, I think the business will just roll. So
continue.
Opportunities are there.
There for the investor.
Also, think about the big four. The government is talking about the big four agenda. We are talking about manufacturing, housing, there is health, and many more. where is the role of film here? Remember, film is an enabler. Today, we are discussing here about film, and we know we are in the middle of a pandemic. That is COVID-19. How has the Ministry of Health managed to communicate to the publics if it wasn't through film? Remember, my own organization, the moment we were hit by the pandemic, we made a choice to come up with My Kenya, My Story. And we centered around COVID-19. And we had hundreds of stories being told. And these stories were ranging from how to prevent COVID, the effect of COVID, how doctors are doing a great job as far as treatment and prevention, the researchers who are working on getting the vaccine. So you can see the role of film is very central, and it enables every sector. And for me, that is quite substantial. Yes.
And now you've spoken about My Kenya, My Story. Let's talk about that. Cinema Mashinani, the film hubs across the counties, the film production funding that initiative that you've come up with a while back, and buying content that you've already launched and you're collecting on behalf of partnering with the channel that you mentioned. These are some of the initiatives that the Commission is involved in trying to empower the industry. Could you speak a bit more on that?
Thank you. You know, when I took over office, I found myself in a position where I wanted to make a difference. And, you know, we must always be purpose-driven. And my purpose is to make a difference. And that difference will only come if I'm able to drive the Commission's vision to where we ought to be. For a very long time, the industry has been considered as a very informal sector, where you are not considered as a really formal enterprise that can be able to contribute to the exchequer. But the reality is the opposite. And the reason as to why that perception has been there is because of how the industry has also conducted its affairs. And that's why the Commission has put in place a mechanism to organize the industry. We are talking about one of the programs that we are currently working on is to come up with governance structures within the industry. There is the issue of the National Film Policy and Film Bill, which will structure all elements, starting from incentives, training, we talk about funding, you talk about investment. All these things will be put into perspective in a very coherent and organized manner, and the sector being recognized as a sector that is organized. Other than that, there are elements that touches on individual practitioners. We talk about curriculums and so on. So these governance tools the Commission is championing are going to solve the perennial problems we've had for a very long time. So one of my key projects is that of governance. And governance brings about how we manage, how we regulate, how we consume, and all other aspects of the film enterprise. The other program touches on development or capacity building. We undertake capacity development programs in the country because we again recognize that within the industry there are various layers of practitioners. There are those who are new entrants, there are those who are semi-experienced, there are those who are very experienced by virtue of how long they've been in the industry, and there are also those who are constantly aiming at advancing their skills and so on. So the Commission has a program on capacity development, and the intention of this is to address the new technological changes, the new ways of consuming content, that is on distribution elements. We also train people on, of course, on short courses, because KFC again is not a training institution. But this capacity building programs are so central because we must have our film industry up to date when we talk about what is happening around the world. Because we want to be the best in Africa and even beyond Africa. The other program that we found which is central is the Kalasha Awards. Every year we celebrate creators of content. And you know, when we are celebrating, the commission, and in my thinking, is that I have to celebrate what the commission has been part of creating. And that's why supporting programs is very key. We also introduced a new way of undertaking Kalasha Awards. For the very first time, we now have cash prizes. We also have partners who are giving goodies to the winners. We also create room to train the winners in key areas. And out of Kalasha Awards, we have introduced a new program called Writers Hub. I call it Kalasha Writers Hub, with an intention of every year training 20 script writers, training 10 script writers and 10 screenwriters. So in total, those are 20.
20 years.
The intention here is we must beef up storytelling.
Yes.
Because that's where everything else starts.
It's true.
Yeah,
Starts
so
with the
that is
script.
a program that is in place and it's currently running. We also have My Kenya, My Story. This is a mobile film competition that, again, we put out there. The reason being, with the technology, you can no longer fail to tell your story because you can't access the most sophisticated equipment. You can actually tell your story through mobile phone. You can capture, edit, and share. Basically, we are saying you can use this gadget to create, ensure that you meet all the criteria, and distribute. Yeah, so if that is possible, then why can't we create stories from all over the country? So this is a program that is aimed at creating awareness to young Kenyans, those at university, those who plan to get into the industry, and so on, so that we are able to unravel some of the key issues around us. Remember, every year we have a theme. Last year we had mental awareness. This year we've talked about COVID. Next year we may talk about families or any other topical issue. So as we do this, we also use this opportunity to create room for Kenyans to have a conversation. And this conversation enables understanding. It also helps decision makers or policy makers to see areas that needs intervention. We have also introduced another new program called My County, My Story. And my intention here is simple. I would like to see, on the very least, Kenya producing 47 movies a year. And it's possible. Remember, we have 47 counties.
True.
Each of these counties can be able to tell a story. And as a result and effect, I would like to see the 47 counties being able to compete against each other, so that we up the game in terms of quality of productions that we have. By doing that, I will not only be creating employment in Nairobi, but I'll be creating job opportunities at the grassroots. And when we do that, then we provide opportunities for storytelling to everyone. It doesn't matter where you are. And remember, we have put money aside for that program so that it can also grow. We are doing a lot with the counties as well. And so that we don't burn out, we are approaching counties through the economic blocks. There are 7 economic blocks that Kenya currently has. We have the Lake region, we have the Mount Kenya, the Lower Eastern and Upper Eastern. There is the Northern Frontier. There is the Northern Rift Valley counties. And all these counties are now warming up to what we are doing. Next week on Tuesday, we are signing an MOU with the Lake Region Economic Bloc. And this brings together all Lake Region counties, that is Kisii, Nyamira, Kericho, Kakamega, Kisumu, Siaya, Busia, and Trans Nzoia, as well as Bungoma. What that does, it gives us room to really bring all counties on the same table. And again, remember, counties are semi-independent, devolved units, and for us, we would like counties to appreciate the role film would play, so that when they are doing the planning, setting their programs in place every year, allocating funds, that they're able to have this on the map. And when you do that across the country, the national government will equally support, which means we'll have enough resources to tell more Kenyan stories. And when we tell more Kenyan stories, then the initial benefits I mentioned, branding, marketing, tourism, employment, cohesion, will achieve.
Just follow.
Will just come naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah. The other program that I won't forget is the film empowerment. There is the content acquisition. Then there is the film hubs. What is a film hub? A film hub is basically a sort of a resource center that we are setting up in Mashinani with an aim of giving the young people who are talented but they can't access facilities. We are putting this out there so that they are able to come and with their ideas and actualize them. We are providing a studio. We are providing a green screen, editing suites. We are workstations. We're also providing what we call the sound systems, everything that you need to have to produce your content. So if we have the film hubs across the country, what that will mean, we'll have moved and brought facilities closer to the people. If you are in Busia, you need not to board a matatu to Kisumu to go and do a production. We'll have brought you the facilities. And the government is committed to ensure that these facilities are present and in good state. So this is an ongoing program. And already we have done the same in Nyeri. We have one that is ongoing in Gatanga, that is in Murang'a County, Kitui. We are heading to have another facility in Bomet and Vihiga as well. All these counties, we have already identified the spaces, and we are partnering with the local communities to do this. We believe that at the Commission, it's not our business to build the mortar. We identify the building, we partner with the local community or government, and we provide the equipment. That way it's easier for us to enable productions and at a lower cost. Something else, or another program that we have found to be very critical is the Kalasha Market. It's an international platform that provides filmmakers an opportunity to network with their counterparts from other regions. It also gives us room to run or pitch for programs. Kenyans are able to sell content because it's a platform where buyers and sellers converge. Yeah, this plus many more programs are in place. And of course, allow me to also mention that content acquisition is one of the biggest challenges that most filmmakers that I have met have raised as an issue. That we have a lot of content in this country, but most of this content is in our drawers. We have kept the content, but we are also saying you have kept it because you didn't have a strategy.
An avenue or somewhere to...
Yes. And again, we want filmmakers to look at their filming business as a business.
Absolutely.
When you don't consider your filming as a business, then your film will end up in your drawer. Because in the first place, you didn't have a reason as to why you are, or a purpose for you coming up with the product. Did you identify your audience? Did you do research? Did you plan for it? Did you have a business plan for this particular project? And did you have a distribution strategy? Did you identify the participants in your product in a way that they can attract key audiences? Did you project how much you want to earn from your project? So all this plays a part in the business of film. So with this, I can assure you, we have decided that in order to also help filmmakers realize that there is a channel you have to take, we are now buying content and airing it on Y254 in partnership with KBC. Why KBC? KBC is a national broadcaster. And the intention here is to ensure if you are a film practitioner and you have content, when you bring this content for purchase, we'll be asking you, did you contract participants in your production? Are you able to confirm that you are able to pay them? How is the flow? You know, we are just saying that we want the system to be a structure that is solid. You are doing formal business. You are not producing content just for the show. Yes, it's showbiz, but it's business. Yes. And the business component is even greater. That's why for sustainability, you need to undertake. Just undertake your business fully by taking the right step. Don't be afraid to be listed on KRA, because the only way to transact is to do open business. And I think that is something that is so critical. The other key area that, again, I can't ignore, as the CEO of Kenya Film Commission, I didn't just look at the industry. I also looked at inward. I had to look at the commission. How are we structured? Are we designed to provide services to the stakeholders? Do we have the capacity in terms of human and other tools of trade? So I've also been doing a lot of internal re-engineering, which to me, without a proper team that will be able to help me achieve my purpose, then it will be very difficult for you to see any results. And as you rightfully see, we are slowly but surely getting to where we want to be.
Causing a bit of waves.
It's important.
You mentioned governance and structure as one of your biggest projects that you're undertaking to ensure that there's a bit of order in how the industry is being run, from the creators to now the regulators. Let's talk about regulation and especially synergies between the Film Commission and other players in the industry. Of course, if I want to do production, I would get allocation. Allocation, that means that I have to contract or go talk to a county government or talk to a Kenya Wildlife Service or whatever it is that where my interests are. What are the synergies between the Film Commission and these other state bodies and other governmental organization or non-governmental, so to speak? Because one of the areas that I've noted over time is that a young person would come with an idea. They want to film, probably want to do a film that requires filming in Masai Mara, for instance. But when you calculate the production cost and then add on top of that all the regulation costs that come with it, it becomes a challenge. So the brave ones would just go shoot, and because of the regulatory legal issues, they will not put it anywhere. And then those who are not brave will just shelve the idea and say, you know what, I'll wait until I'm able to do it. So what are synergies in place that would empower these creatives that have ideas to produce content, but produce it legally?
First and foremost, I want to bring you to the attention of why the commission was established. And I won't go through the entire list, but just to identify one line, which is facilitating the industry. The commission has a special desk, and it has employees who are generally there for the purpose of facilitating the industry when it comes to licensing, location scouting, if you want to do Reiki, and all this that pertains to your filming. We have even now gone a step further and put in motion a project which I'm calling an e-film shop. An e-film shop is being cooked as we speak now.
Somewhere in the oven.
It is somewhere coming up.
Yes.
And this is an online platform that will enable filmmakers to transact licensing issues at the comfort of their. It could be in a hotel,
Or
it could
in
be in
the
a
matatu.
different, yes, wherever.
Yes.
You know, we are saying that just the same way you are able to get government service from eCitizen, eFilm Shop is going to provide you with that. But before we get there, we have synergies with other key agencies. And to just give you an example, there is Kenya Film Classification Board.
Yes.
They are currently doing classification. After you have filmed your product, you need your project or your film to be classified so that you are telling the audience or your viewers that this project can only be viewed by this class of age.
People, yes.
Yeah, when you have that, there is an importance of that particular fact. There is Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. For drones, you need to get permission to have a drone in your production.
Yes.
And again, we are strategically working with KCA on that front. Then we have KWS. Other than KWS, the counties. We have established contact people in each and every county in this country to ensure that as a filmmaker, Kenya Film Commission is a first stop for your filming. Challenges arise when you are going to the field and you've decided to make a choice not to get the license, and when you do that, the problem is that you do what? You miss the opportunity. How do you miss the opportunity? Because you have decided to take a shortcut. I encourage everyone to take the long route, but let that long route give you the ultimate solution on what you are looking for. So as far as synergies, the essence of any government is to provide services to its people. The Kenya Film Commission was established to provide services to filmmakers and other related customers. So for us, we are there to offer you that service, and that service we offer for free. We do not charge you to do liaison. You need, let's say, a gun from the National Police. Come to us, we have contacts. We do the linkages. You need work permit from immigration. Again, you will not be able to get a work permit if you do not have a recommendation from the commission. All we are saying, we just need a working structure in the industry. Failure, then we are in chaos. And when you are in chaos, you are informal.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to bring this to a close. But I would do injustice to you if I didn't ask this. Capture Kenya, capture Africa. That is one of your slogans in terms of marketing Kenya as a filming destination. And of course, in the past, we've lost opportunities to host big films in the country. What are you doing now to ensure that we are attracting these big productions and collaborations, and we have them coming and doing their productions in Kenya more often?
Well, Film Kenya, Capture Africa is our slogan. And it is true. You want to capture Africa, you come to Kenya, you will find everything you need in terms of the people. You can film the entire of Somalia here in Kenya. You can film the entire of Uganda, Ghana, South Africa, right here in Kenya. What we are doing to attract big budget productions, first of all, I will put it into context that any producer, there is what they are looking for. And the first priority is, where is my story located? If your story resonates with a location in Kenya, then that is the first point of reasoning. It does not matter whether you have film incentives or not. There are other factors that also come to play. For example, attracting big budget film to be shot on location in Kenya is dependent on the following. One, do we have crew in the country? That is manpower. Do we have facilities in terms of studios and the general infrastructure, roads and banking system, You could also talk about transport in general,
Yes.
direct flight from wherever the producer is coming from. All those are factors. Even communication. Can the crew on location communicate in English? Kenya has all this before we even talk about film incentives. And that's why I can assure you, even before we began this interview,
Yes.
I can assure you that there is one film that is being shot, is going to be shot on location in Kenya in the next 7 days.
Wow.
And it's a big budget film.
Yes.
Just before COVID, we had a French film that was shot on location in Kenya. And this particular film production spent 400 million shillings on location in the country. So big budget films are still coming, but there is still more that we need to do to ensure that we attract as many as possible, because the benefits of a big budget film being shot on location in Kenya far outweigh anything else.
It's true.
Skills,
Yes.
economic sense,
Exposure.
exposure. There is a lot that you cannot downsay. And also, there are other aspects to this. Kenya is working at just ensuring that the legal and environmental framework that govern and support the filming ecosystem is up to standard. And when that is done, I can assure you that we are soon going to become a land of filming,
Yes.
because of the benefits that we can be able to get, and also the deliberate effort that the Commission and government in general is putting in place.
Yes.
Remember, when we were moved to the Ministry of ICT, we have relentlessly come up with new programs, and all these programs are not geared at anything else, but they are all geared at bettering the operating space
Yes.
for filmmakers.
Wow.
We want filmmakers, when they are making a choice to invest in a film, they are not contemplating, or you are not making two different choices, whether to put this money on film or to put this money on media. In coffee, we believe this is your farm, and you are filming. Just put your investment there. You should be able to get your return on investment.
All right.
When international big budget productions are done on location, I think maybe the point I should put across
Yes.
is a vibrant local film industry will guarantee international productions on location,
Wow.
even without incentives.
Any incentives.
Yes.
All right. So, thank you very much. Any final remarks?
Well, my final remarks border on just encouraging the viewers that the film industry is a very lucrative industry.
Yes.
You invest in the film industry the correct way, the returns far outweigh any other kind of investment. You invest $1, be guaranteed to get $6 back.
Wow.
I believe even in real estate you will not be able to get that.
That amount of
So
money.
if you are still contemplating, talk to me,
Yes.
talk to the Commission.
Yes.
And as I've always said, Kenya Film Commission was established so that together with the Kenyans, we create a film industry that is vibrant to help us gain the benefits that the entire country will be able to get.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, sir. We've really learnt a lot, and I'm glad that we had this opportunity to have this discussion.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. All right.